My DNA went back to the Yoruba people of Nigeria.
Man, it's been so hard. We want to do so much. We're young, black, woke. But you know what else? We're so much more.
Let's show the world.
What's up, BZ Dynasty? This is your boy, the man with the plan, the man with the world in the palm of his hand. Yeah. This is your boy, JB Zion on the track. Welcome back to the channel, my dynamites. This is your boy, yours truly, JB Zion, and welcome again to BZ Dynasty. So, I know I'm a little late for this, y'all. I know y'all been blowing me up. Y'all been hitting me up. Y'all been responding. You've been messaging. You've been sharing your input. You've been rejoicing with me. It's been such a beautiful journey, and I'm just so glad to have such a beautiful fan base that just supports us and encourages us. So, without further ado, on today's video, I thought I should go ahead and do a response, a reply, a part 2, if you will, to my African ancestry results. Y'all went out. Y'all showed out. I'm talking about y'all showed us that, man, wow, this is a hot topic. A lot of people are into this nowadays. A lot of black people have been researching their DNA, getting their DNA tested from 23andMe, family ancestry, African ancestry, all these different venues. A lot of black people have been researching and going deep and going in depth into who they are and figuring out where they come from. So, after seeing how much feedback we got from the first video, and if you haven't watched that, bing, it should show up right there. Don't forget to go back to that first video and watch as I unboxed my African Ancestry Patrick clan DNA test results. It took about 2 months, I want to say, for me to get my results. As you guys know, I'm going to share with you guys again what my results were. So on my paternal lineage, on my father's side, that means your father's father, father, and so forth, up to about 2,000 years ago, my DNA went back to the Yoruba people of Nigeria. Woke the woke. Yeah, y'all give us up for that. That's it. So, as y'all know, I was ecstatic. I still am ecstatic. Y'all couldn't begin to fathom how much research I've been doing since I found that out. I mean, I've been looking up Yoruba. I've been looking up the Bantu speakers of West and South Africa, the Sub-Saharan Africa, where a majority of African American people come from. As you may or may not know, the Europeans were taking specific tribes of people from Africa. And I'll go into detail with that a little bit later. But so my father's DNA went back to not a European, not anybody else, not Spain, not Portugal, because I was scared, y'all. Y'all thought I was the white man at first. Me, but I ain't know. I'm sorry if that's offensive, y'all. I'm not discriminating against any people.
Really, nigga?
I'm just, you know, African Americans have so much that we've been through in terms of being stripped of our identity and that kind of thing. And we just want to have something that's ours and know that it's ours and know that this is who we are, and something that you can research and share with your children. So when they ask you, you can explain to them that, okay, we come from Africa, we come from this tribe of people, this ethnic group, this specific part in Africa. Whoa. So I thought I would do a follow-up video to clarify some things. On the first video, I said, I think I said 55 to 60% of African Americans will go back to European DNA. I flipped it, y'all. I messed that up. I knew that was wrong when I looked back at the video, and then I had a brother of mine comment down on the first video saying, oh, you butchered that. It's 60% that go back to, that if you did your DNA, 60% of African Americans would be from Africa. And the thing with that is, a lot of y'all probably like, why is that? What the world? How is that possible? Well, during slavery, you know, Europeans slept with, not every African American, but they did sleep with certain African American women. So if some people, about 40% of people, if they did their Patrick clan or their father's DNA, it would read European, like Spain, Portugal, United Kingdom, Great Britain, France, Germany, Poland, Ireland, etc. So it's nothing to feel, you know, no type of way about, but I just don't want to see that online, y'all. I want to know that I come from Africa on my father's and my mother's side. They say if you do your matric clan or your mother's test, 92% of African Americans will have African DNA. But you can Google that, African Ancestry. I might drop a link right here or something like that. You can look all that up. like the forefront, it's at the forefront of DNA research. African Ancestry is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, DNA testing site, and the only DNA testing site that has the largest database of African American DNA, in that it can give you your specific tribe, your specific ethnic group. It won't just tell you West Africa, it'll tell you Nigeria. It won't just tell you Nigeria, it'll tell you Igbo or Yoruba or Hausa or whatever. So yeah, I did want to do a follow-up video. I'm not trying to make this too long, but if y'all want me to kind of follow up a little bit more, I can. This is a passion of mine, looking into the African diaspora and our heritage and our roots and what makes black people, where we come from, that kind of thing is a passion of mine. A couple of things that I want to kind of piggyback on. Most African Americans don't know that if you did your DNA, you would come from the Bantu speakers of West Africa. It's a specific group of people called the Bantu. They have a specific DNA set. Most African American males, their DNA paternal haplotype would be something like E1B1A. And I don't know how familiar y'all are with that, but there's been a lot of teaching on the E1B1A DNA of African Americans. You can YouTube it, you can Google it, but chances are your DNA is going to be E1B1A on your father's side. And if you do your mother's side, it's going to be something like L2 or L3, maybe even L0 or L1, depending. But that's on your maternal side for African American people. Why is that? They were taking specific black people from Africa. Not all black people are the same. There's so many different people, y'all. There's countries within Africa. Like Nigeria is like United States or something. I mean, or at least Canada or something like that, if y'all understand what I'm saying. So these are big countries within a continent. So with that, you have so many different types of people. You have so many different ethnic groups and tribes. Just because all black people are black don't mean that all black people are the same people. Now, with that being said, most African Americans, however, come from the same tribes in Africa. So majority of African Americans, and not just in America, but on the islands, in the Caribbean, Haiti, Jamaica, St. Vincent, St. Croix, Martin, all these different places, the Bahamas. All these black people came from the transatlantic of 1600s. They came from a certain event that black people were taken from Africa. And those specific black people taken from Africa had a specific DNA. It's important to know that because when you do your research into a lot of these Bantu-speaking West Africans, or Sub-Saharan Africans, they have an oral tradition that goes back to the Near East or the Middle East. But I'm not going to do too much on that. I'm just going to kind of give you guys some recommended reading. I have like a little PDF I printed out from Derek Lang. That's D-I-E-R-K Lang. I might link the description down in the comments, depending on what if y'all want to go a little bit into that. But certain people like the Yoruba, when you look at the name itself, it originates from a Hebraic, Aramaic kind of word. Yoruba itself is more linked to Jeroboam or Jeroboam. It wouldn't have been a J in the Hebrew alphabet. Who was the king. Now this is all my research, y'all. I've been looking into this stuff. This has been a journey, y'all. I'm just been learning. After I found out Yoruba, I've been Googling Yoruba, the origins of the people. Who are these people? Who are the other Nigerian groups like the Igbo and the Hausa? And as I was researching, y'all, I've been finding some dope stuff, real deal. Like I've been finding out that a lot of these African tribes, that black African Americans and other people of the African diaspora, a lot of these tribes we come from were a different people. Like it was a reason why the other Africans sold us to the Europeans and we got over here. Now, and a lot of that, even the people we come from, like the Yoruba, a lot of them didn't have the power to be able to stop Europeans. I mean, they really couldn't do but so much. But the Native African, there was a little tension between Native Africans that knew that the Bantu speakers were a different people that came from a different tribe and all that good stuff. Like if you kind of look at Black Panther kind of dealt with kind of that stuff about the different, that 5 tribes that came and settled in Nigeria. If you look at the beginning of Black Panther, it kind of talks about, and if you look, and if you pay attention to Black Panther, they had a little nomenclature at the bottom that said Nigeria.
8. The succession of the throne is expected to fall to the oldest of the king's 2 children, Prince T'Challa.
My prince, coming up on them now.
So the movie Black Panther was based on the slaves or the black people that come from those tribes that were sent into slavery, like the Igbo of Nigeria, the Yoruba House, even the Ashanti tribe of Ghana, the Limba, even all the way down to Zimbabwe and that kind of thing. So we were a different people based on my research, y'all. Now, y'all, if y'all want to talk more about it or you don't agree with something, just post your comment. I love to talk about this stuff. But the tribes that black people that are not in Africa today came from were of Middle Eastern origin. And I can link some information about it if you want to search it. But you can search like Yoruba and Hebrews, or they come Igbo and Tribe of Gad, or Igbo and Israelites. Like, you can research that stuff. I've been looking into it because, yeah, I want to know. I want to be able to know where I come from, to be able to teach my children and be able to create a legacy where we know who we come from. I'm tired of just us being black and CB time and Kool-Aid. Like, we are more than that as a people. We've contributed more to society than that. We were a prodigious and industrious people. Even back in Africa, the Bantu speakers were, I mean, if you look up the Bantu expansion, the Bantu people were the ones that created industry and agriculture in Africa. And they were hardworking people, and they were business-minded people. Like the Nigerians, even today, you will see, say that they were always a legendary people. And even in America, the things that black people have accomplished, the things that we've created, from the stoplight to the streets being paved, the banister stairs, open heart surgery, they're gonna peanut butter, me brother. I'm talking about like they're perm and hair processes and all the Madam CJ Walk, all these different things. Like, black people have done these things. Now, a lot of European propaganda and television and marketing doesn't really go into that stuff. But y'all, I'm gonna let y'all know, it's Black History Month, and your boy finna be like, let's go. It's Black History Month. We finna be rolling out. Like, every day, we gonna try every day this month to be going into African history. The African diaspora history that we have here in America, all the things we've accomplished. Like, I don't know if y'all seen the Google ad, we might react to it. But in that thing, they said that the most searched performance, Beyonce and Beychella. The most searched female poet, most searched athlete. All of these is our people. This is our culture. And shout out to my boy Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace, my brother. But we've contributed so much to the world, from the daggone pyramids to this day. Black people have been paving the way for other groups of people to be able to have all these things that they have. There wouldn't have been an industrial revolution, y'all, in America without the agricultural boom in the South that was provided in part by the slaves. In the most part, it was the slaves. That free slave labor allowed for Europeans to be able to think of other things and meditate on industry and things like that, because they didn't have to go out there and slave and toil all day. They had help to do that. And then our people end up excelling in those other areas, going to the north and end up becoming the patriarchs of industry. I mean, we were doing a lot of things that we don't get credit for and that they're not teaching in the history classes. And but to be honest, y'all, we can't expect other people to teach our history. You can't expect a European-based educational system to teach who you are. You have to do your due diligence to an extent. And February is the shortest month of the year, first of all. And we can't limit our history to 1 month. But we got to go hard as we can. And we can't expect other people to teach us who we are.